Heat 1, round 2 of the women's Keirin. They've got 4 laps to go. Panarina, Gao, Claire, Sanchez, Vogel and Park of Korea. And tucked in on the back of the little Derny pacing bike at the moment is the German Christina Vogel. She's 20 years of age, a former junior world champion. And in the wheel of Vogel, it is Park of Korea.
Well, they're starting to lay off the Derny bike now. And it's, I think that's Claire, France, coming into second position.
So Claire de France moving through, first to make any kind of move, or indicating that she wants to get involved with the contest at the early stages. Let's take a look now. Remember, at this stage of the competition, it's the first 3 riders that will go into the final for the medals. Coming up to the line with 1 lap to go. Vogel on the front. Big challenge here over the top then by the French competitor. There are 2 from France in this, Sandy Claire and of course Clara Sanchez, who's been the world champion on 2 occasions. Here they come up to the line. Let's have a look at it over the line. Sanchez. And it was a brilliant sprint for Sanchez, twice the world champion, taking that from Gao of China, and Panarina of Belarus, who's won a gold medal here in the 500, now gets herself into the final of the Keirin. But Sanchez really rides these with such a wealth of experience.
Well, she did. They tried to use their team numbers. Sandy Claire trying to go to the front, but just wasn't quite going quick enough. Sanchez spotted that and just came over the top with a lap to go. She had to do it all herself, but she had the strength. Gao has also been performing well in all of these sprint competition. Panarina, a late charge there, really quick.
So the 3 going through into the final. Clara Sanchez of France, Xuan Gao of China and Olga Panarina of Belarus. So looking at Victoria Pendleton there as the little Derny bike comes around for Heat 2 of round 2 of the women's Keirin. The first 3 will go into the final by right. Anna Mears of Australia is the first to react, and she goes straight on to the little Derny bike. Behind her is Guerra Rodriguez sitting in second spot representing Cuba. Victoria Pendleton here will be very, very keen to find a good way to the closing sprint. She wants to get into the medal hunt. Also in the mix here is Lee of Hong Kong, Mustafa from Malaysia and Shulika from Ukraine.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how Victoria Pendleton handles this one. Must be smarting a little bit after yesterday. Here's a chance for her to take some revenge. But Anna Mears looking just as focused and concentrated as she did yesterday. She'd desperately like to do the triple here. And
she's come through to this stage of the competition the hard way as well, because she lost in the first round earlier today. It was Papko of Belarus that won, and then Pendleton had to win the first round repechage to get back into the competition. So let's hope that that extra ride has not blunted her speed. She's sitting there comfortably at the moment in the last 1 position. Shalika behind her. The little Derny bike will build a tempo up to 45 kilometers an hour before it drops off with 2.5 remaining. I must admit, Mears is brimming with confidence. This is a discipline, like the sprint, that she'd never won till yesterday. So can she get better than the silver that she did win in the first year of this race's inception?
Well, the sprinters have to deal with psychology, I think, more than any other discipline. Some of them are riding over 4 days here, and these events are just decided on a hair's breadth sometimes. It's a difficult thing to do, to live like that for such a long period of time. And sometimes on the final day of racing, the cracks begin to appear.
So you've got a mix here of different talented discipline riders. You've got 2 specialists for the 500-meter time trial ahead of the contest at the moment with Mears and Rodriguez, and then you've got pure sprinters like Pendleton, and Shalika likes a sprint as well. So really Mears is going to have to look to go for a long one. Pendleton is conscious of this, and she's coming along the outside of Rodriguez in the early stages. Right, there are 1.5 laps to go. And Mears still looking across, holding the rest on her shoulder as the tempo now begins to lift. Pendleton still in third place, that's okay. Remember, top 3 go into the final, which is a little later this afternoon. So Pendleton riding this well, trying to get up onto the shoulder of Rodriguez. At the moment, struggling a little bit to achieve that. The rider from Malaysia right on the inside of her. But it's Mears still leading the charge to the line. Mears is going to take it. Let's have a look. I don't think Pendleton's done it. It was Mears, Rodriguez and Mustafa of Malaysia, and Pendleton was 4th, so she only goes into the minor final.
Well, Mustafa held her cool there. She was boxed by Pendleton. She couldn't come out, and she just held her cool. Didn't give in to pressure to drop back at all. And poor Victoria Pendleton, she was stuck on the outside there for best part of 3 laps. That's an awful lot of extra distance she's covering, and it just proved too much in the end.
And it was the endurance riders at the front, like Mears and Rodriguez, especially over the 500, that dictated the pace at the front. But really, Mears, a sprinter, should have had the firepower there to find her way through.
Well, Victoria Pendleton, I think she hesitated really. She made the move, she stayed, she was at the back, she moved forward, which is the right thing to do, but hesitated halfway and decided to stay there. And she didn't have any shelter. She was off a wheel and coming around the outside. I really think she probably should have gone to the front there if she could.
Well, the news here, not good news from Apeldoorn, is the fact that Pendleton has not made the medal final for the women's Keirin. But the 6 that have are Sanchez, Gao, Panarina, Mears, Guerra Rodriguez and Mustafa.